Thanks, everybody. Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Ricky Camilleri. You love our next guest when he rings in the new year with Anderson Cooper, when he reunites your favorite housewives, and when he pushes your favorite celebrities to the brink of admitting something they shouldn't on Watch What Happens Live. Let's take a look at a clip of Andy Cohen in action.
Tonight's poll question is, who would you rather, Gorga or Giudice? Texture vote, yeah. Me or Anderson? Anderson gets it. Who would you rather now? Would you bail Jax out of jail? Is this Beyonce? Does Lisa's face match her ass? All right, I mean, we don't know what it means. Who do you think has slept with Will Smith?
No, that's not fair.
Oh my God. No. Wait, Kenya's boobs, real or fake? What do you think?
Oh my God, it's off the meter.
Are our polls too shady? Text your vote.
Everybody, please welcome the one and only Andy Cohen. Hey.
Hey, Ricky.
Thank you so much for being here.
This is the old Tower Records, huh?
It is the old Tower Records,
Wow.
correct. Do you remember was your first album that you bought at a Tower Records?
No,
No.
because I'm from St. Louis. It was
Right.
from Street Side Records.
Do you remember
St.
what it
Louis.
was?
My first record, I don't remember what it was. Probably something very gay.
I think mine was too. I think mine was Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's very
Feel the vibrations.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Andy, you're here to talk about a number of things. Watch What Happens Live, as well as a partnership that you're doing with Purina, right? Because you have a dog that is what you consider a senior citizen dog.
Well,
right?
what's crazy is my dog Waka, he's 7. And most people don't realize, I just found out over 83% of people who have a senior dog, dogs are considered senior over the age of 7, don't realize that they have a senior dog. So I had taken the 28-day challenge with Purina, and we did the jump, and he's now eating Vibrant Maturity dog food because he's a senior, and he's got a lot of energy, and the food suits him perfectly. And the cool thing is, if you sign up for the 28-day challenge with Purina, they're going to give $1 to the Pet Finder Foundation, which helps rescue senior dogs. I rescued my dog through Pet Finder.
Was your dog it wasn't a senior when you
No,
right?
he was a mere child. He was a year and a half old. So you just go to purina1.com/senior to register for that.
I'm curious, Watch What Happens Live is now going into its 10th year, right?
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. When
It is crazy.
When you started Watch What Happens Live, the idea of it was that it literally felt like a guy that worked at Bravo started a little show in a back room at the company.
That is exactly correct.
And now it is the go-to stop.
It's crazy. I never thought that I would be on. We got picked up for 12 weeks at midnight. And I was like, okay, well, this will be fun. But I had a day job at Bravo. Yeah. And, I was the guy who got the ratings in the morning, too. So I was like, oh, this show, we're going to have to cancel this show.
And I imagine that you also probably read press about it as well.
Yes,
at the time. Because the initial press off of it was, if I remember correctly, was like...
mean.
Yes.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was like this guy gave himself his own talk show. This is stupid, whatever. I was like, yeah, it is stupid. That's kind of the point. And we're still stupid, by the way, proudly waving the flag. But yeah, the ratings were good, and they picked it up for another 12 weeks, and then it was on 2 nights a week. And then I had to leave my day job because I couldn't do both, host the show 5 nights a week and do my day job.
And your day job at the time was?
My day job at the time was I was in charge of programming, and then I kind of halved it, and I was in charge of development at Bravo while doing Watch What Happens Live, and there you go. I'm still an EP of all the Housewives shows.
Can I ask when you decide, not that you decided to give yourself a show, but what was that process like?
The process was, I had a boss who wanted us to beef up BravoTV.com. And so she said, would you be interested in doing an after show after Top Chef and Project Runway live on BravoTV.com? And we started doing that. I did about, I don't know, 20 to 30 to 40 episodes. I don't know how many. And then someone named Michael Davies, who owns this small studio downtown where we're still broadcasting out of, he came to Bravo and said, I have this little studio. I own it. We could do this little show on Bravo if you wanted. So my bosses said to me, would you want to do that? He went to them. He didn't go to me. And I said, yeah, absolutely.
So
and
this
that's how
wasn't
that started.
This wasn't you really like
It was
pushing.
not.
You didn't go
never-
into your boss's office and like,
No,
I want to host.
I would have been kicked out of the room.
Exactly,
They
yeah.
would have been like, that's not what you're here for. I was always very cognizant of what my job was and what my job wasn't. And I always felt like the minute I ask to be on camera more is the moment they're gonna say, you're getting too big and too full of yourself in your head. So this is not what you're here for. So anytime it was their idea, I was thrilled about it.
The moment I asked to be on camera more is the moment that I start hearing myself talk and my heart breaks a little as well. I think.
Right. Did you have a job behind the scenes also?
Yeah.
Oh,
At
well, there you
HuffPost
go.
Live, I was a producer, and they threw me on camera to help another host who
Right.
didn't know how to host, who's now quite successful in morning broadcasts.
Who is
and,
it?
I don't want to
Okay.
say any names.
Well,
I'll
we-
tell you afterwards.
Okay,
She's
well-
the daughter of a very famous conservative politician.
Meghan
we'll say that.
McCain.
No,
Oh,
the other one.
okay.
Yeah. And then they apparently liked me and they had me do it. But one time I was like, I want to do it more. And I saw their faces go. And one of them actually said, you're being a diva. And I was
Right.
like, oh.
No, that was
That's
the
how
thing.
this works.
And I also never, I didn't even, I was surprised when they asked me to host the first reunion show. I was like, wow, yes, I would love to. And I never really wanted to get paid for any of that early stuff because I, again, was worried. I knew that I didn't have value to them. And I was like, no, don't pay me $100, whatever, because I didn't want them to think that I thought that I was valuable to them as on-air talent. I
Was
thought,
it-
well, this is how I'm going to get kicked out of here.
Was it weird when you started to find value in yourself as on-air talent? Because on-air talent itself is such a weird,
Yeah.
strange, amorphous thing to feel like you are. Like talent is such a weird way to describe it sometimes.
Yeah, it took me a long time to feel like I was valuable to them. It took me a long time. I was just very conscious that it could all go away and that would be fine because I had a day job or I was a good exec or producer and that I could go do that. I thought it was very tenuous, this idea of being in front of the camera.
Was there a moment in the 10 years, say a guest or something that, for lack of a better word, went viral or people started talking about that made you realize like, oh, this show has really has landed?
It was when we booked Meryl Streep, which was a few years into the show. I was like, wow, this is major. She wants to be here. The studio wants her to be here. We're somewhere on the map. We're in the atmosphere of she has a movie that she wants women to see, and they know that women watch this show. So yeah, that felt like a really big deal.
Did you get the impression that Meryl watched the show?
No, she did not watch the show, but I had known her from kind of around, so it was cool, and she kind of went with it.
Do you feel like that has kind of helped the booking or helped the show as well as that you had some sort of, relationships with a lot of the bookings prior?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I was begging friends to do the show. Sarah Jessica Parker came on early, and Liam Neeson. And Jerry Seinfeld was very nice to us. And Matthew Broderick, they came on. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, they came on. And I was kind of trying to prove to Bravo, I can get real stars to come on, not just Housewives. And
Do you find that you still get the best ratings though from the Housewives, or do you
Yes.
get the best rate? Do you get best?
no, I
ratings?
mean, sometimes we get big ratings. It depends. But if there's a huge Housewives show and we have that housewife who's in the middle of the scandal, we know that we're going to get great ratings because that's the lead in and it just goes to figure. Right. But
and that's also your audience. That is
and
your
that's
core
you're
audience.
programming to the lead in.
Right.
So, yes. But no, a lot of times, I mean, if we have a huge celebrity guest and a big lead in, we'll get big ratings for that guest. Absolutely.
Yeah, you have like a core audience who's always going to sort of tune in for the Housewives
Yes.
thing, and then you're now and then sort of pulling outside audience as well
Yeah.
when you have like Meryl or somebody
Yeah,
else.
and then
right?
you have the core viewer. I mean, look, it's been on 10 years, so we have built up our own set of viewers at this point.
Is there still a guest that you get nervous around, or that you?
I get nervous around the other late night talk show hosts just because, you know, it brings out my own insecurities. And these guys are professional comedians, and I'm not. I'm kind of situationally funny, humorous, and they're actually humorous.
Right, like you know what's funny, but you're not necessarily, you didn't come up for 10 years as a joke writer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And that feels very uncomfortable when you're with somebody who has done that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Feels mildly uncomfortable.
But do you even feel competitive with them? I mean, you're doing such a different kind of show than they do.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I would say, I would say
It's a totally different show. And so I don't.
yeah, a totally different show. And I would also say, without giving you too much credit, a bit more of the future of late night in a way. I mean, those shows in so many ways feel kind of dated and like they're just never going to change.
Yeah.
You know? Do you ever say that to them when they come on?
Yeah, I do.
Steven,
You're the best.
your show doesn't
Yeah.
feel like it's ever going to change.
I don't say that to them.
course.
Yes. I will say we are unique in that we don't pre-interview we get away with a lot of stuff on our show. I mean, we don't pre-interview our guests. I'm one of the few people who kind of goes there. Howard Stern is my broadcasting role model. Right. And so I like to ask questions that I don't think that the other shows in late night would ask, or the other shows on the stops would ask.
Have you ever had a guest walk away mad? Or
No, yeah.
say like,
Yeah,
sorry, we're never going to come back?
Yeah, a few, but mainly I don't want to piss people off. I want them to want to come back. And I want them...
Sometimes.
It happens sometimes, but mainly they really want to come back. And they know what they're getting into when they come on the show. But it is considered semi-dangerous, a semi-dangerous stop for celebrities.
Can I ask who you pissed off?
No, because I'll piss them off more.
What is next for you? I mean, after this, you never saw this happening in your career. You never really probably wanted to be necessarily on camera, did you?
I did. Actually,
you did?
At the very beginning of my career, I did. But I moved to New York. I wanted to be kind of a local news anchor or reporter or work on a morning show. But instead, my last internship was at CBS News in New York. And I was like, wow, New York City. Why do I want to move around from small town to small town and try to get on camera? I'll just move straight to New York and work behind the scenes, which is what I did for first 10 years at CBS News. And then I was just, I was working behind the scenes. So this happened so weirdly and organically that I had given up on the idea.
Rather than being like a field reporter outside of Milwaukee somewhere and being
exactly.
The cat show went great today.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Do you think you'd be able to do that?
Would I be able? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I would have killed it. I think I'd be anchoring the 6 and 11 in St. Louis, my hometown. You know.
You ring in the new year with Anderson Cooper now on CNN, and you guys have another project coming up, right?
Well, we're on tour. We've been on tour for 4 years.
We've been on tour for 4 years.
We literally have. We've been in 60 plus cities, selling out all over, and it's just a night of fun and conversation. We got a whole bunch of new shows in the fall: Nashville, Fort Lauderdale, St. Louis.
What is the planning going into those shows? When you first decided to do those shows, what was the thought behind it?
He interviewed me at the 92nd Street Y for a book I had, and our chemistry has always been great on and off camera, but it was a great night. And his agent came back, and she actually at the time represented Bill O'Reilly. And she said, you know, Bill O'Reilly and Dennis Miller have been on this tour for years, and they are kind of the opposite of the two of you, yet the alternate universe version of the two of you. But they have this show that they do on stage, and people love to come see them. And it's comedy, and it's pop culture, and it's world events, and they tell stories, and people love it. And she said, you should see if you could come up with something.
Did you have to go see the show to prepare?
No, absolutely not. And we
knives going into my eyes.
Yeah, mine too. And no, but we figured out we've been friends for 25 years. We've traveled the world together. We have so many intersections of pop culture and world events. And there are stories that we wouldn't tell anywhere else We tell people, please don't tweet people, don't tag people in the stories we're telling. We bring video clips. And so we did this show for a few years, and then we were at the Beacon for 2 nights a year and a half ago, and I said, look, we're starting to repeat cities. We need to come up with a new show. So we went on vacation and kind of wrote a whole new show, and that's what we're doing now. And we've now done New Year's a couple times, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great night of fun and alcohol.
So you never were a joke writer before, or a professional comedian, but now you're writing a show.
We're storytellers,
right?
You know, we're storytellers, and they're very funny, shocking stories.
Did you, I mean, you said you've known each other for 25 years. Did you ever feel 10, 15 years ago, before you were even on camera with Watch What Happens, that you and him had a chemistry kind of like this? Did you entertain at parties?
My only thing with him was I always loved making him laugh. He has an infectious giggle, and he just turns into a puddle of, he's like a little furry
he's also
sloth giggling when you make him giggle. And there's something that I love about it. He carries a lot of, he's a serious guy.
Exactly. There's something about him that's not supposed to laugh.
Exactly. And so there's some sort of endorphin that is released within me when I make him laugh. And I love it. And so it's unusual, and we've become a lot closer, weirdly, since I got the talk show. I mean, he is such a loyal friend, and he's helped me out in innumerable ways. And there's only a few people that are on live television every night and every day. And so he and Kelly Ripa have been really kind of supportive and helpful to me as different things have come my way.
Speaking of different things that have come your way, you know, in 2016, basically all the late night shows, even Fallon, had to start finding ways to talk about politics because it basically consumes our daily lives. It is almost the new pop culture. Watch What Happens hasn't necessarily gone that way or felt the need. Was there ever any conversation about how to cover it? Should we cover it? Or was just knowing right away?
Not really. I mean, I always talk about, I'm the only gay late night talk show host. So if there's anything that is happening that's affecting my community that I view as something noteworthy to discuss or that I want people to know about, I will talk about it. And otherwise, if I have Meghan McCain on, or if I have Van Jones or Barney Frank or Gavin Newsom, you know, all people who've come on the show, certainly they're in the world of politics. I'll talk about politics. Otherwise, I don't. I mean, I'll make a Trump joke every so often, but mainly I know that's not why people are coming to the show. So it's kind of a situational thing. If Samantha Bee is there, Trevor Noah,
you'll have the conversations, but it's not up to you without that guest to really get into it.
It's not what people are coming to my show for, but I definitely speak up if my rights are under threat, which they are more and more these days.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have time for a few questions from the audience. Who has a question? Right here. Hey.
Hi, Andy. Big fan of Bravo, The Housewives.
Thanks.
My question is, have you ever considered taking the best of the best from each city, putting them in a vacation house, and making it Housewives All-Stars?
Absolutely. I think that we will do that when the show is kind of running out of gas. Right now, it's not. All the franchises are cooking in their own way, and
How many are there now? How many?
7. There are 7 Housewives cities. So I think it will be an incredible thing when we do that. But I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Yeah.
Is there something to be said with both the Housewives and Watch What Happens Live that if you stay the course, you will kind of find your audience and you will kind of, people sort of eventually almost reluctantly consider you important in a way?
I don't know. I think, I mean, I think in terms of Watch What Happens Live, yeah, you always want to bring new viewers in for whatever reason. The Housewives, same thing. But I mean, look, there's a passionate core base for both shows that we just want to build on, but it's a really big base for both.
I just know that when the Housewives first launched, right, it was torn apart in the press and just mercilessly cruel to that thing. But then it became successful, and now people have to kind of admit that, like, it was a great idea, and everybody loves this show, and it's really fun to watch, and it's well produced.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We have a question from Twitter. It's, hey, Andy, do you have a favorite type of guest to have on? Musician, comedian, actor, etc.?
I think actors, I'm sorry, I think comedians are the best because they got the jokes.
They do the work.
Yeah, they do the work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy. I mean, it's always easy when kind of if Nene Leakes is on from the Atlanta Housewives, I feel like I have the night off. Or there are certain people where I feel like I have the night off. You know, Jerry O'Connell, some of our regular guests that I'm like, great, whatever, it's awesome.
You can just kind of toss to them, and they'll pick up the ball and keep going.
It's
yeah.
great.
Next question.
Yes. Hey.
Hey.
Okay, so this is a two-parter. The first one is I have like 4 friends coming to New York November for Broadway Con, or not Broadway.
Bravo Con,
excuse me,
yes.
Bravo Con. Is there anything you can say about it?
I can say this. It's going. I sat down with the team at Bravo that's working on this because I was like, can I just get a sense of what you're doing? I was blown away. So what I will say is that it will be everything that people want it to be. Okay. Now, everyone wants to know when tickets are going on sale. So I asked over the weekend, and this is up to Bravo to announce. It is not in the next 4 weeks that tickets are going on sale. Okay, so just be patient. They're going to go on sale, and it's going to be incredible.
Great. Great. And then I guess the second part, I mean, we all want to know, how do you get tickets to Watch What Happens Live?
It's kind of a nightmare. I mean, you run into my assistant on the street. You make an impassioned pitch on Twitter to the Watch What Happens Live handle, maybe. You go on Charity Buzz. There's only 32 seats in the clubhouse, and we've raised actually millions of dollars in the 10 years because the tickets are so hard to come by that we auction off probably 8 tickets per episode at least to charity. So we've raised a ton of money.
Next question. Right here.
Hi, Andy. I was wondering if you would ever consider expanding your Bravo franchise to, let's say, the Real House Husbands of New York City.
You know, we did development early on in OC of the Real Kids of Orange County, which really would have just been Laguna Beach, but and Real Husbands of Orange County. And what we found out is the husbands are boring. Let's stick with the wives.
True.
Yeah.
One more.
Hi, Andy. Congrats on being a new dad.
Thanks.
I know firsthand what it's like to work for a single father or be a caregiver.
Yeah.
The question is, how much closer have you become with your family and friends and caregivers who have supported you in the process of
A lot. I mean, it's really incredible. I want my son to be surrounded by people at all time. I never want him to feel like it's just me and my dad in this place. So, and he is. I'm so grateful. All of my friends have really stepped up, and they come by when I'm not around. I'm a working single dad. The good news is my schedule is such that I'm kind of in and out all day, which is different. Most parents are, you know, out at breakfast time, and then they're back at bedtime. I'm in and out all day. I'm usually there for bedtime, and then I leave and go to Watch What Happens Live. So, but I'm very grateful to all of my friends for really stepping up and being around in various and beautiful ways.
You've also become an advocate in a lot of ways, right, regarding your son and regarding the surrogates.
Yeah, it's crazy. Surrogacy is legal in 47 states, and it's as progressive as New York State is. It's not legal here. And so I was working in Albany about 6 weeks ago, lobbying, trying to get this bill passed. It passed the House, but not the Assembly, or it passed the Senate, but not the Assembly. I can't remember the terms. Yeah, the Senate, but not the Assembly. And so hopefully next year we can push it through, but it's archaic that that this is not legal in New York.
Andy, it's a pleasure talking to you, sir. Thank you so
too.
much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Watch What Happens Live is, of course, on Bravo, and people can find out when Bravo Con is happening.
Yes, it's happening the weekend of November 15th. in New York City.
And if people want to
stand by for new details, just follow Bravo TV on Twitter.
And if people want to know more about your partnership with Purina.
Purina. Go to purina1.com/senior to sign up for the 28-day challenge.
Andy Cohen, everybody. Let's hear it.
Thanks. Thanks, Ricky.